Well, last week, the FBI suddenly released new, higher quality video of that 2021 DNC and RNC pipe bomb suspect as it renewed its efforts and also laid down that $500,000 reward for information leading to that arrest. A guest we had on the show last week says that $500 is never going to be spent. This is the same video, by the way, from earlier in the year, but then they slapped another 2 minutes at the end of that footage to show you. Our next guest is one of the best journalists in America and has been on this story from the very beginning. That's Steve Baker, who writes at Blaze Media, and he's been covering this. He just posted this last week when they pushed this out. He said, let's pretend the cell phone data was corrupted and deleted, and the identifying data from the many times they used their phone during that stroll was lost into the ether. For heaven's sake, FBI, release the entire 17 to 18 hours from these two cameras. What are you hiding? He's been covering this deeply, and Steve is back on the show with us. Steve, welcome back to Redacted. Great to see you.
Hey, Clayton, it's good to see you as well.
So since that video was published or republished with that additional 2 minutes added on to it, what stood out to you and in your reporting? I mean, it seems like you have a lot of questions for the FBI.
The most important thing that stood out was, why won't they go ahead and release to us, at the very least, the unaltered video? I mean, because we're talking about frame reduction on these videos. We've proved that that has happened. This has been manipulated at the lab by somebody. We don't know who. We don't know why. I have a theory behind it. I think that the reason why that the frame reduction has happened is that defeats gate recognition software. And what do I mean by that? Well, we've heard of facial recognition, right? Well, gate recognition software is actually more accurate than facial recognition. Not only does it provide a much clearer, we'll say, fingerprint of what an individual walks like, than does facial recognition, but it's also more reliable at greater distances. Whereas, you know, somebody gets 50, 100 yards, 200 yards away from you and from the camera, then facial recognition is not likely to work at all. But gait recognition, in other words, how somebody moves, how they walk, how they carry themselves, is reliable to much greater distances. And part of the reason why this blurry video, almost like stop action, photography, it has been the only thing that's released, is I'm afraid that that's what they're trying to obscure. And the other thing, and this is the most confounding part, Clayton, is the fact that they refuse to, for some reason, release to us the entire 17 or 18 hours of that DNC, those two cameras. So just like I posted in that one X post right there, the side-by-side of the two cameras, those are not the Capitol Police or the United States Capitol Police CCTV video cameras. Those two cameras are on the Democratic National Committee headquarters building themselves. And for some reason, they have never released to the public, or to anyone else for that matter that we're aware of, that entire period from the time that alleged pipe bomber placed the bomb there that night around he was walking around between 7:30 and 8 o'clock, from whenever he or she allegedly placed that bomb, is then there were other things that were happening. We believe that that bomb was picked up and retrieved at 4:40 in the morning. We also know that the Secret Service had their human sweep of the building that morning, because then Vice President-elect Kamala Harris was scheduled to be there and arrive at 11:30 that morning. And so they had human resources. We have, from a long-range traffic camera, we can see between 8 and 9 blurry Secret Service members doing a sweep of that exact area that you're looking at right now. We can see that from a very, very long-range, low-resolution camera. We can see they're doing the sweeps at that time at 8:30 in the morning. We know that there were at least two bomb squad or bomb dog teams that sniffed out the area later that morning before Kamala Harris's arrival, and they all missed it. And I'm going to tell you, when you see, even from this video that the FBI put out last week, when you see where they placed the bomb, it is absolutely 100% impossible that the human suite missed that target.
Right.
They could not have missed it. That means that that bomb was not there in the morning. And then again, we also believe that it was put back there, and it was put back just some time, either minutes before or at the moment that the plainclothes Capitol Police counter surveillance squad, it was two individuals, that they came by. They found the bomb, one of them did, and then walked over to the Secret Service SUV and alerted them that there was a bomb 15 feet from where they were sitting.
So you guys have heard of the bearskin hoodie, right? It's my favorite hoodie. It's the one I'm wearing right now with the removable patches on the side. This thing is built like a tank. This thing is incredibly warm when I walk the dog. It just turned really cold. We got a big cold front that came down from Wyoming, so it's a perfect season to wear your hoodie. And Bearskin makes these fantastic hoodies that are built like a tank with 340 GSM microfleece, 10 pockets, a clean, rugged fit that looks awesome. And right now is the best time to grab it because you get 60% off. Right now, they're running a deal for our viewers, 60% off. This is a perfect gift for the upcoming holidays. And this thing looks awesome. It feels great. It zips right into the heavy rainstorm jacket also. So if you're out, you know it's going to pour down rain, you slide the shell right over the top of it, and the Velcro, just perfect. It just works. It's 100% waterproof when you need it. So if it turns wet, cold, windy, you're not scrambling last minute. You'll get free U.S. shipping, fast delivery, and you've locked in your winter gear already. That's a win-win. So do yourself a favor right now. Text the word redacted to 36912 to lock in 60% off. Again, text the word redacted to 36912. You'll get a link sent straight to your phone so you can check it later if you're busy right now. Oh, and one more thing I should mention. When you support Bearskin, you're also supporting the Fallen Outdoors and the Hope for the Warriors Veterans Program. So you're not just buying some great gear for yourself, you're actually backing a cause that matters as well. So don't wait till you're freezing to realize that your hoodie sucks. Get a Bearskin right now while it's 60% off. Text the word redacted to 36912.
And then, of course, you know, when you find out that a bomb is 15 feet from you, the first and most likely thing that you're going to do is finish your sandwich for 2 minutes.
Always. Especially if it's like Jersey Mike's, you know, like
Exactly.
I paid
It's a great
$12 for this, for a sub that's Mike's Way with vinegar on it. I'm going to sit and finish this thing, even if there is a bomb behind me. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. And what's more absurd is the idea from your reporting, it seems like, and maybe you can correct me on the record here, but it seems like the FBI's move here was to say that this was a training exercise. That was the excuse they were going to use. And
we have absolutely no proof of that. But what we have, if we have two different sources from the Washington field office who said that that was the prevailing rumor inside the WFO, is that they were going to claim that this was an ill-timed or a very poorly timed training exercise that day from or between at least one, maybe two, maybe three different agencies, and that this was a really bad day to do that, and that's why everybody was casual. They knew it was a training device, and that was the problem with that. And so that was the way that they were going to explain it away. Now, I'm going to, once again, I try to do this as often as I talk about this, I'm going to give Dan and Cash, the deputy director and the director of the FBI, I'm going to give them a little bit of grace because they are up against a lot of deep staters still involved at the FBI. In fact, they are running up against obstacles every single day. We know that from our own reporting. We know that from our own insider sources there, that they are still under a tremendous amount of obstructionism and opposition for the things that they need, the things that they're looking for, the things that they are requesting inside that bureau. And as a result of that, it's very possible that they don't even know. They themselves don't have any idea right now what the circumstances are around this bomb, because all of this was developed, this investigation, or in fact, this cover-up conspiracy was developed long before they were there. This was almost 5 years ago now. And so it's very possible that everything that we're asking for, everything that we're saying we need, particularly that 17, 18 hours from those two DNC cameras, which would answer every single question we have. If they would release that, we would know the answers to these questions. But Maybe they don't exist anymore. Maybe those that footage has been destroyed, deleted, and we will never know the answer to it. And that's why they're so reliant upon this $500,000 reward and tips to identify this alleged bomber.
You know, I've spoken to people who said that there's no way that $500,000 is ever going to be spent. This is all obfuscation. When you've asked for this video footage, who have you asked? Have you been able to get anywhere with any like FOIA requests or otherwise that would have been able to make this video available to you? And then the other question I have is about the cell phone data from this individual. Where have we gotten with that?
Well, okay, a couple of things. We know that this was the one person using a cell phone that night that we've not been able to track. I've covered the January 6th trials. I've watched them track people through the building, up the stairs, down into the crypt, in through the rotunda, into Nancy Pelosi's office. They were able to track people at that time of day when there were tens of thousands of people gathered in and around the Capitol. And with all of that bandwidth absorption and disruption, they were able to still track people's actual steps to the meter of where they were in the Capitol at a very specific time. Yet this particular individual was not tracked. Now, one thing that people don't talk about and one thing that they don't seem to realize is that if this person is from the intelligence community, whether it's FBI, CIA, or somebody else, that this person would then have tradecraft and would not be using a device that could be tracked. It would be a burner phone or some sort of device like that. But this person was clearly and obviously in communication with somebody, because we also know that the targets, the DNC placement of the bomb, and then the placement of the bomb, they always say the RNC, but it was actually behind the Capitol Hill Club, which is a Republican gathering place, a private club there next to the RNC. We know that those devices, that was not their originally intended placements. And that, again, brings us to the other agency possibly involved in this conspiracy, and that's the Capitol Police, because those two counter surveillance plainclothes officers of the Capitol Police, they are known to Congress, they are known to the Congressional Committee that's been investigating them for 2 years, and the names are known. And those two particular officers, when they found the bomb at 1:05 at the DNC, only moments before that, I'm talking about less than 5 minutes before that, they were at the Congressional Black Caucus Institute, where that same alleged bomber apparently attempted to place that bomb under a bush there first. And then apparently something broke off of the bomb. The bomber picked it up and then talked on the phone and then moved it over to the DNC, placed it there. We believe that somebody retrieved it in the middle of the morning, and when they brought it back, the bomb had been fixed. And what they were looking for at the time at the Congressional Black Caucus Institute was they were looking for the two pieces that had fallen off or broken off of the bomb when it was originally placed there. And it's absolutely, Clayton, this is the bombshell. It's absolutely impossible for those two counter surveillance officers to have the ability to go directly to the exact bush that this individual with the hoodie on and the rare Nike shoes sat down at and originally attempted to place the bomb, and know where to go first without foreknowledge.
Yeah, it's amazing that we can swoop in and within 33 hours, we've got a lone gunman in Charlie Kirk's assassination, the FBI all over it. We can solve all of this. But here, suddenly, we still can. But hey, $500,000 is still out there and available for anyone who can put this together. Steve Baker, who's always been stirring up a hornet's nest, I hope we get answers on this. I'd love to have you back. If we get these 17 to 18 hours of footage, we can answer everything. But thanks to your incredible reporting on this and staying on this story, because they would love to sweep this under the rug. Thank you for not letting them do that. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, Clayton. And by the way, more is coming.
Well, we'll have you back. We'd love to have you on. So as soon as it drops, let us know, and we'll have you right back on, Steve, as always.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.